Hi, this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? आज बता केम छो? आज सब कैसे हो? So today I'm discussing a very important video, which is, it's been pending for a while, the beginning level or a beginner level dream interpretation video. Okay. One thing I want to make clear to you guys is to not take any of your dreams too literally. And this is what I mean. When it comes to any spiritual science, like astrology or whatever, in dream interpretation, I guess you could say is a spiritual science, you want to avoid the mindset that this thing, this placement, this thing that happened, this thing that I saw in my dream equals this materialistic outcome. Okay? You want to avoid that. That's the first way to get into disaster when it comes to any spiritual science. You have to understand that it's not a material science, it's a spiritual science. So anything that you see, yeah, you could see some correlation or connection or something like that. Let's just say you always see, a dream with a certain animal or like some property of yours being destroyed or something like this. You notice a pattern. Don't try to connect it to any specific materialistic outcome in your real life, because that's all ego thinking. You want to see how that could be connected to some spiritual flow in your life. Now, if you are not spiritually elevated that much at all, and there's a difference between being spiritual and being emotional. Okay, I'm going to let you know that right now. But if you're spiritually elevated somewhat at all, then you can understand what I'm talking about and you can kind of see what I'm saying. So, now, that's not to say that sometimes there's not going to be some specific material connection to whatever you see in your dream. Okay, but do not think that specific material connection is going to permanently be always whenever you see that thing in your dream. And do not think that is always the case. Okay, but I'll start off with some specifics in this video just to kind of get you started. So the main basic thing is water. Okay. Anytime you see some kind of body of water, you know that it's somewhat connected to your subconscious or your emotions in some way, shape, or form. Okay. Another big thing could be any sort of animal. Okay. Now, the animal that you see is very dependent on usually whatever's going on spiritually in your day-to-day life. Now, if you're not spiritually elevated, you're not going to know what's going on spiritually in your day-to-day life. But I'll give you some examples. If you usually see some predator-like animal, usually there's spiritually some obstacle that you are facing in your life. Okay, now I know that sounds really vague in general and whatever, but you got to understand that if you're spiritually elevated, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, this is just the ego trying to be the ego. That you're not really going to be looking for anything fruitful as far as the reason of why you're watching this video, okay, or you're looking this kind of stuff in general. But I'll tell you kind of how to connect the dots a little bit more. Let's just say you see an animal. Let's just say some animal. Let's just say a crocodile. A crocodile is chasing after you. Now you know that there's something in your life that's bothering you. That doesn't mean necessarily literally that there's something attacking you. Okay, that's you're looking at this too literally. What that means is that there's some spiritual challenge possibly that you're trying to run away from. Okay? I'll give you an example. Let's say that you got left by some person, like some relationship person, okay? And you're trying to run away from that problem. This could be that, okay? Like possibly. Or if you were to not be doing so hot in your job or at school and you're trying to run away from that. This could be like you're searching for a new job, you're trying to switch your classes, drop out of your classes, something like this. This could be that. You're trying to run away from the problem. But this doesn't mean like literally something is attacking you. Okay? I think you guys. But you kind of spiritually interpret it as an attack, because if someone leaves you, for example, it's a really big thing. Okay? If someone leaves you, like it's a huge thing to your spirit and ego to kind of overcome. Okay? This is why some of the scriptures kind of, like religious scriptures kind of recommend against too much dating before marriage. But that's another topic for another time. But it's a huge obstacle. Now, let's just say like a lion, let's just say is hunting after you or something like this. I'm continuing on this example. Then obviously, yeah, if you notice, for example, that you just went through a breakup, and let's just say you notice that that this lion dream, for example, has only started when after that breakup happened. Now you know that at least temporarily for right now, this lion in your dream, especially if you see one that looks like this, is somewhat kind of connected to this situation you're in. Now, if you see a lion in the future, that does not mean that you were thinking about this person, okay? Because let's just say you had another breakup. The lion could just represent a breakup in general, okay? But it goes even deeper than that. Like I said, the lion, it could just represent that you're trying to run away from something. So it could be a person, could be a job, whatever. You kind of have to see this kind of stuff. This is just a beginner level video, but I hope this kind of made sense. Now you can combine certain components. So, like I said, let's just say you're in a lake or you're in the ocean, okay? Water, like I said, represents subconscious, or like your emotional kind of body, but it's not like necessarily stuff that you're thinking about all the time. So now let's just say a shark is trying to attack you in the water. Now you know it's something that's bothering you a little bit more subconsciously, okay? This is kind of getting a little bit more deeper into it, but I'm kind of trying to tie the elements together. Now let's just say you see your house on a shore a little bit close by to the water that the shark is attacking you on. Now you know that you're trying to search house. For those of you who know astrology pretty well, house is represented by fourth house, which also represents comforts. So now you know that you're trying to run away from this problem, and hopefully you've identified the problem by comforts. So that could be things at home, food, TV, your mom. I mean, not like your mother or any sort of family that you have. Things like this, okay? Hopefully you guys, any sort of clue in your dream that kind of helps you build the story spiritually, now you kind of are getting on the right track. Okay, let's just say, I'll give you another. Let's just say the house you have in the dream, you go, but you kind of see it's locked or you see it's under construction. Now the house, now you know that somehow like you're trying to run towards comforts, but it's not really something that that is giving you the satisfaction, I guess you can say, to run away from your subconscious demons as well as you think. Okay, so these are kind of just some ways to get started. So I think I covered animal. Oh, one thing I really want to cover is snake. Snake in the Indian community is a huge thing. Now, there's a huge debate. If you see a snake in your dream, what does it mean? Well, the answer is it could mean a lot of things. But some things it could mean something really good, or it could mean something really bad. And I'm going to kind of cover a couple of different scenarios of how it could mean different things. It could mean ego. Which is kind of like, in my opinion, like not that good. Hey, that's why Shankar Bhagwan, some people say like the cobra on his neck, it represents the ego, okay? Now, it could mean some ego, but it could also mean some kind of kundalini energy rising, okay? Like if you have like a white snake, and it's kind of like rising from your head or something, or it's like coming out of your right arm kind of, or it's in your right, like then you know that it might not be the ego, or it's like you're kind of like giving up the ego or something like that. You could kind of interpret it like that. But now if it's like some like red and black snake or something, and it's like attempting to tie you, or something like that, then you know that it could be, it's not that good. Like the ego is trying to get a hold of you, or like let's just say something really embarrassing happened to you, okay? And you see the red and black snake kind of crawling away, okay? Then it's kind of like just really fast slithering away. Then it's almost kind of like, your ego could be kind of running away or something like that, okay? These are just some few examples of a snake. Animals are huge, like I said. Elements are huge, so I covered water. Fire could mean a lot of things, but if you look, fire, it could mean like moksha-ish kind of thing, like you're kind of giving something up, like something's burning, like if your house is burning, like you're kind of giving up comforts. Or okay, let me take that back. It's not that necessarily that moksha, like you're giving up something. It's more like something else will come. Also, it could mean one of the two. That's why like Gandanta points are really for those in like astrology, like Gandana points are very tough because it's the end of water or beginning of a fire. So if you kind of notice a fire starting, yeah, something else might come, but it kind of implies that you're losing something. Okay, this is just one very specific example, but a fire could mean a lot of things. But like I said, you kind of got to see like what it is, what it's doing. If your car is on fire, okay, you might think, oh, well, the car's on fire. It's probably represents something similar to, a house being on fire, because they're both kind of comforts, whatever. Maybe it's a little different, but you got to understand, if the front of the car is on fire and the back of the car is not, or vice versa, or the left and the right side, whatever, it's going to mean completely different things possibly. Okay, so you got to understand this. Also, if like the glass is broken, the tires are punctured, something like this, little details, like I'm just literally throwing out complete hypotheticals here, but little details like this, you got to notice them all in your dream and see literally how these spiritually apply to how these spiritually are connected to your life. So you want to interpret everything literally in the dream, but don't necessarily connect it literally to everything in your life. Connect it spiritually to everything in your life. And your ego is going to want to try to get you to jump to certain conclusions. Like, oh, this equals this equals it. And that's possibly why you're looking at this video, because you're trying to just become more curious. But you got to understand, just be smart about it. Notice patterns, notice correlations. Don't jump the gun. And hopefully this was a good start. If you have any questions or comments, you can let me know. But just remember what I said, any animals, any elements, any weather, any things that you hold close to you, like your school, your home, your car, whatever, any certain places, just kind of represent what they mean to you spiritually, and go from there to kind of connect patterns. And this is, like I said, this is just a beginner video. I'll make more intermediate and advanced videos later. So hopefully this helped. If you have any questions or comments, you can let me know. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much for watching.